Alright, but let's see if there's anything hanging around by the watering hole. Usually pretty good gathering spots for the animals. Sometimes if we're lucky, we might get to see something rare, like maybe a black rhino. I say maybe because they are very scarce. Poachers have killed hundreds of thousands of them for their horns, and today there's less than 5,000 black rhinos left in the entire world. It's such a shame, too. I mean, their horns are made of keratin. It's the same protein that makes up our hair and the fingernails. Let's come around the turn. On the hill to the right is a light brown antelope, but way up top there, that's a greater kudu. It's a female, too, and you can tell because she doesn't have any horns. Some saddle-billed storks over there by her, too, those big black and white birds. Oh, but get the cameras ready. I see a black rhino laying down across the water here. We'll make a quick stop. Get a look at the mouth. You notice the black rhino's got a pointed upper lip. It's called the prehensile lip, and these are like fingers of grass, leaves off of trees. So they live out in forested areas like this as browsers. It's a big animal, too. That rhino weighs 3,000 pounds, and it can charge up to 35 miles per hour. It's pretty quick for an animal that size. Up on the hill to the right, some ghosts of the forest. And those orange animals are bongos. They get the nickname the ghost of the forest because they're rarely ever seen. Here's some more kudu up ahead in case you didn't get a good look at the first one. Now, these kudus are about 5 feet tall at the shoulder. Makes them the second tallest species of antelope in Africa. They're the one getting ready to cross in front of us here. Give her a little room to do so. Alright, let's go ahead and start making our way down to the Safi River. The river's a really good spot to see some Nile hippos, and we usually have pretty good luck seeing them in the waters ahead. They are pretty big, even at birth. Yeah, when a hippo's born and already weighs 85 pounds. And a full-grown male, they'll tip the scales at around 5,000 pounds. And just because they're very big, it doesn't mean that they're always easy to see. They are known to hold their breath in the water for up to 8 minutes.
Alright, hippos.
I do see some pink-backed pelicans up ahead. Oh, look, there's a hippo out of the water up ahead. Alright, cameras ready. That's cool, man. They usually come out of the water at night. Certainly when they feed. And every night, hippos will eat up to 90 pounds of vegetation.
Look at it. He's in the sun, sunbaking.
All right, cameras ready. We'll stop up ahead here.
Oh, there's one in the water, too. You see him?
Yeah, one in the water there. Yeah, when they travel through the river, they'll sink to the very bottom of the water, and they kind of walk along the floor, or even just push off and glide. And that's why the name hippopotamus translates to river horse.
Wait.
So as you continue further up the river, keep looking deep in the water for more.
Oh, you're being silly.
I saw the bubbles though too, Penny, that you saw.
There you go.
Thought that. There's something, but it wasn't a
See the other one?
All right, those on the left, here's a chance to see some hippos out of the water too. Look over the rail.
Oh my god!
Oh, there's more.
Penny, you may have been right back.
They're so big.
All right, friends, make sure we do stay seated though, please. And please sit down.
I've actually never seen one.
Yeah, they're always in the water.
Oh, you look way out to the left, there's a Nile crocodile. Now, up to the side of the strip of grass over there. And Nile crocodiles, they will snap their jaws shut with a pressure of up to 2,000 pounds per square inch. It's enough power to crush the bones of its prey with hardly any effort. It's huge, too. I mean, I look like it from this far away, but they're about 16 feet long. And if you think about it, that's almost as long as a giraffe is tall.
Yeah.
I read that one. I'm just chill.
All right, well, so far I've been to the forest and the river. Next, we'll head on out to the savannah.
Oh,
the savannah is a completely different ecosystem, and out there we'll find a whole lot of different animals. And speaking of difference, coming up on the right, we'll get a closer look at an ancient baobab tree. They're also known as upside-down trees, and it's because the branches look a lot like the roots. But like I said, they're ancient. They lived for about 2,000 years. And this tree over here, it's already halfway there. Now, in order to survive long periods of drought, baobab trees store a lot of water in those trunks and remain leafless like this for about 9 months out of the year. All right, up ahead, I do see some giraffes out there in the savannah, so let's head on in. And you can't really miss them. They're only 20 feet tall. There are several different species of giraffe. The ones we'll find out here are called the Maasai giraffe. They get the name Maasai because they're native to the Masai Mara region of Africa. It seems like they're looking for food right now, and that's what they do all day long. And they can eat up to 20 hours a day. That doesn't leave a lot of time for sleep, you know? In fact, giraffes only sleep for like maybe 30 minutes a day. And it's not even 30 minutes at once either. It's just a few minutes here and a few minutes there. And then look at the size of the horns of these cows down here. These are Ankoli cattle. Those horns are about 6 feet long when they're fully grown. They can be about 20 inches around right where the horn meets the head. Some younger cows over here too, so their horns are still starting to grow out. But look, there's a baby giraffe right behind the tree behind the last cow.
Oh yeah, he's right.
Here's the baby. He just celebrated his first birthday a few days ago. When he was first born, he was 6 feet tall. Within that first year, they nearly double in height, so he's almost 12 feet tall already. To the left of the baby giraffe, there's some wildebeest. Do you know what's a nickname for the wildebeest? Not what, it's new. It's spelled GNU. They get the name from the grunting sound that they make. So you kind of think like how a cow would moo, wildebeest will moo. And the name itself, wildebeest, it is an Afrikaans word. Translated, well, means wild beast. Speaking of wild beasts, on the left is some African wild dogs. They're underneath the big tree in the middle of the yard here. But the wild dogs are also known as painted dogs or painted wolves. They're the most successful hunters in Africa. The success rate when they hunt is even better than the big cats. Now when they hunt together as a pack. They just take turns chasing after their prey till it drops some exhaustion.
You wouldn't have to chase me very fast.
Right in front of us, some zebras. These are the Hartman's mountain zebra, one of 3 different zebra species. A little further out to the left, some sable antelope, the official emblem for the reserve disables. Now their horns are about 5 feet long, and they're not afraid to use them. And sable antelopes will butt heads with each other for courtship or dominance displays. They even use them to fend off potential predators. And the zebras here, if they see a predator, they're usually going to run. They're going to use their flight response. But they do have to stand their ground. They do have one line of defense. That's a swift kick in those back legs. And that kick is so strong that they can break the jaw of an attacking lion. Over here to the right is big tan antelope. This is an eland. The elands are the largest antelopes. Full-grown males, they can weigh a ton. Literally 2,000 pounds. It's also about 6 feet tall at the shoulder. But do you want to know something really cool about this male eland? Remember, he weighs 2,000 pounds, right? Well, he also has a standing vertical jump of up to 8 feet. Yeah, man, look at him, man. He's solid muscle. Yeah, he can jump straight up and look at eye to eye. All right, we'll get another glimpse of the baby giraffe over here. He's like, where's everybody going? All right, I gotta go follow now. I can't stop him near him again. Here he's a little too close now. And giraffes are very curious animals, and the wardens don't like it when we pick up very tall hitchhikers. We'll see the Ankoli cattle again too. And by the way, these cows have a few different nicknames. The most common one is Watusi cattle. They got that name from the tribe that first domesticated them. And even though they are domesticated, they don't mind sharing the savannah with any of the wild animals. There's quite a few giraffes out here. By the way, a group of them is called a tower. It's a pretty fitting name for a group of tall animals. We get very close to another giraffe over here on the left. This is mom right here. Yeah, that's the baby's mom right here on her left. She's also very good about getting a road and causing giraffic jams, so I have to keep on going still. She's also my favorite giraffe. Yeah, one day I was driving around out here, and she was right in the middle of the road, so I stopped the truck. She turned around, looked at me, started stomping her foot and snorting at me. She was telling me I was in her way, which we were. This is
Wouldn't
their
that be
home.
something to catch?
Alright, well, I think it's time that we start making our way towards elephant country. What do you say? Sound good? Alright, it's one day, let's go. You know what, we'll also swing around by Monkey Point. We'll see if we can maybe find some mandrills. They are the most colorful monkeys in the world. I'm gonna tell you right now, though, if you do see a mandrill, please do not tease the monkeys, because you know what they throw. Yeah, you laugh now. Trust me, that's a souvenir you don't want. Alright, Monkey Point will be over here on the left. Now, I do see some mandrills walking around. They're getting ready to walk behind the bushes up ahead there at 11 o'clock. But if you get a look at the faces, you notice they have really bright red and blue colors. And when the boys get excited, the colors on their face get even more vibrant. Yeah, they're being shy down behind the bushes. Alright, Hakuna Matata. Let's see if we can go find some elephants. Alright, up there to the right is the backside of an elephant. Not the side I want to look at, so we'll keep on going. That's a big bull. You can tell he's a bull because he's all alone. When the boys reach maturity, they leave the herd. And we'll see if we can go find the herd. We'll go check out the red clay pits. Sometimes the elephants will go out there and lead the clay for the minerals. It's kind of like taking a vitamin. And those clay pits will be coming up just on the other side of this old bridge. This old bridge that we have absolutely nothing to worry about. Why do y'all look so nervous? Hey, come on, you're on vacation. Where you're supposed to relax. Alright, let's go to the clay pits up ahead. We'll see a lot of tusk marks out here. By the way, both male and female elephants do have ivory tusks. And even on reserves, they're being targeted by poachers for them. So to protect the elephants, we've invited scientists here to study their vocal patterns. And by studying how the elephants talk to each other, we're learning what it is that they need in order to survive. And look up here to the left, there's the herd. I see one of them right now. Now getting back to the vocalization studies, one of the interesting things we learned through those is that the elephants are afraid of bees. We've been able to use that knowledge too to help out some farmers. And they've been having issues with elephants going onto the farms and destroying their crops. So to keep the elephants out without harming them, we've helped the farmers set up beehive fences. That way as the elephants get near, they hear the bees and they go around everything. So this way they don't destroy any of the crops and they don't get hurt. Also the farmers now have an additional crop with the honey that's produced. Alright, looks like the rest of the herd's up ahead here. Let's get a little clearer view of them. We'll stop in a moment. Oh, here's the big matriarch right over here, reaching up for some grass in that tree. If you look to the left of her, there's her granddaughter, actually, the baby elephant. And she just turned 2 years old a couple of months ago. And her childhood will last for about 13 to 15 years. During this time, she'll learn behaviors like where to find food and water, and how to get along with the rest of the herd. And she learns those behaviors by copying her mom. Now you notice the elephants have a lot of dirt on their bodies. That's basically sunblock. And they get sunburned pretty easily, so they'll dust bathe. They just take dirt and mud and they throw it all over themselves. Alright, looks like there's some more elephants down here by the watering hole. Make another quick stop. Yeah, this is a 9-year-old and a 14-year-old right there.
Hell yeah. He's drinking water. Bigger ones are behind the fence there.
Alright, coming up ahead now, we'll see a flock of greater flamingos. And these are the palest of their species. When they hatch, they're not even pink, they're gray. They eat a lot of brine shrimp, which is high in beta-carotene. It's the beta-carotene that turns them pink. And usually it's going to take them about a year or two before they fully develop those pink feathers. Just going to get another glimpse of the elephants across the way over this side. Alright, we're going to start making our way over to white rhino territory though. White rhinos used to be one of our greatest success stories, but even today their horns are highly valued on the black market. Every time a poacher sells a rhino horn, they take that money and they go out there and buy more sophisticated weapons to hunt even more rhinos. It's a vicious cycle that's been very difficult to break. Way out to the right by that green truck, there's a couple of ostrich. They stay over there. We might be able to get a close look at them a little later on. But you can tell those are females because they have gray feathers. Males have black feathers. But even though they do have feathers and wings, they don't fly. But the ostrich, they can run up to 40 miles per hour, which is not as fast as that cat straight ahead laying up on the hill. Here's a cheetah. Cheetahs are the fastest land animals. On average, they can sprint up to 60 miles per hour. See him land out there with his head propped up? A couple of them, actually. And And these cats are daytime hunters. They use their sense of sight when they hunt, not their sense of smell like the other cats.
Cool. They do a good job of hiding.
Some more up ahead, too. We'll get a close look at here in just a moment. And by the way, a group of cheetahs, they're known as a coalition.
Well, there's a bunch of them, Penny.
And you get a look at the faces, you notice they have those black teardrop marks that run below the eyes. Those marks help reduce the sun's glare when they're hunting. All right, let's head up to the Kopies. Kopies are a big rock formation, and sometimes we'll see lions out here. The lions, they like to go up on big rocks to scan the savannah for prey. So if we're going to see any lions today, somewhere up here will be our best bet. But do keep in mind that they are nocturnal animals.
They were all laying up there.
Yeah.
You know what that means?
Oh, I do see some white rhinos up ahead. As you come around this turn, they're going to be up on the right here, kind of hiding in the bushes. They look like big tan rocks. Those are white rhinos, and you can see they're really not white in color. The name itself comes from the Afrikaans word "vite." Vite means wide. It's because they really just have a wide mouth. And they're the lions on the edge of the Kopies here. We'll get a better look on there in just a moment. Take a look at the rhinos in the meantime. How cool is that? Those are 5,000-pound rhinos just a few yards away. You see what separates them from the truck? The gas pedal. And not like it's going to do as much good, though. They can charge up to 35 miles per hour, and we can drive at a whopping 8. And luckily, they have a pretty good temperament. All right, so here are the lions on the left.
See the lions, Rosie?
Not surprised they're lying around, though. They do that for about 20 hours a day. And who does more of the hunting for the pride, boys or girls? Girls, right. Luckily for us, we do most of the hunting at night. They're pretty young still. They're about 3 years old. You can tell with the male he's pretty young because he doesn't have a full mane yet. It's still growing in. But they're still big cats. That boy weighs about 500 pounds. And you get an idea of how big he is. If you were to get an up-close look at one of his paws is bigger than your face. Yeah, those things are like the size of dinner plates. All right, up ahead, I see some warthogs. Warthogs are the largest burrowing mammals. Yeah, look up ahead about 11 o'clock. They're laying out. They look like hairy rocks. But whatever you do, please do not call them Pumbaa. Oh, in Swahili, the word Pumbaa means foolish one. In reality, they're very smart. In fact, warthogs are so smart that when they go into their burrows, they'll back into them. That way, in case any predator try to attack, they'll think twice when they see those razor-sharp tusks. And there's that ostrich again coming up on the right. Fun fact about the ostrich: in the history of Kilimanjaro safaris, 2 of our drivers have been bitten by one. Yeah, I'm one of them. And that's why we're not stopping. Yeah, luckily they don't have any teeth. I can show you some of their eggs, though. So they lay their eggs in a communal nest called a clutch. Whichever bird's most dominant should get to lay their eggs in the center. But look to the right, about 15, 20 feet away. There they are. These are the largest bird eggs. Each one down there weighs about 3 pounds. And you get an idea of how big that is? One of them is about equal in size to 2 dozen chicken eggs. No shells is so hard, any one of us here can gently stand on one and it won't even break. All right, coming up ahead, we'll see some of the newest kids on the block. They're called the Nigerian dwarf goats, and they've been a very welcome addition to the reserve. For their small size, they don't take up a lot of space, and look at them over here. They're adorable. Now, you might think that they're babies, but they're not. They're just fun size. And when these little guys get playful, they'll jump up and down, then they'll butt each other in the head. When they do that, it's kind of like the way of high-fiving one another. Also helps them to establish their dominance within the group, and it'll even help them mature as they age. Alright, friends, well, it seems like the safari's come to the end, so I'm going to have to drop you off at the warden's post. I hope you had a great time today. I want to thank you very much for choosing Kilimanjaro Safaris, and please come back soon because no 2 safaris are ever the same. The animals definitely make sure of that. And I want you to remember that wherever you live, there's ways you can protect your local wildlife and their habitats. You can even help conserve the habitats of some of the animals that we've seen here today. And it's really easy too. All you gotta do is recycle your old electronics. Devices like our cell phones and laptop computers contain a metallic ore called coltan, and it's commonly mined in areas where some of these animals live. points out whenever it's time for you to upgrade your devices, go ahead and recycle the old ones. That way, the more we all do that, the less the animals will lose their homes. And while you're still out here in Harambe, if you want some other up-close animal encounters, I recommend that you visit the Gorilla Falls Exploration Trail. It's an easy hike with a lot of great animal viewing opportunities. Also, maybe go check out Rafiki's Planet Watch. Just gotta take the train to get out there.